Move next to Washington at Indiana, a traditional Big Ten matchup as I look for this number on my screen. I don't really necessarily know if Washington has ever played at Indiana because I don't know necessarily that Indiana had much success in college football, if any sort of stretch. And looks like we have Washington a 6.5 point underdog on the road at Indiana. Total is 53 in this one.
So I initially put this on the list because I thought this was another gift from God, saying, "Wow, they're really going to make Indiana a touchdown favorite at home again after what they did to Nebraska, after what they did to Maryland. I mean, they just kick the shit out of teams. Beat Nebraska by 49, beat UCLA by 29, beat Northwestern on the road by 17. I mean, Curt Cignetti is out for blood. The reason this line is at 6.5, which I later discovered, is Indiana quarterback Curtis Roark is out for this game. He is a fringe Heisman candidate. He's been absolutely tearing it up. In his place is going to be Traven Jackson, who actually started a few games for Indiana last year. Spoiler alert, he's nowhere close to Curtis Roark. 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So I think Indiana's going to rely heavily on their ground game, which are used to. They actually, despite having Roark under center, they actually run the ball a lot more than they pass. Um, Indiana's secondary, they're one of the worst teams in terms of completion percentages. Um, but they actually are top 10 in yards per pass. So they, allow you to kind of like dink and dunk. So I assume that's what they're going to force Will Rogers to do on the Washington side. All this adds up to a low scoring game. I'm going under 53.
Yeah, 53. I'm leaning with you there. I think a reference to a missing quarterback and having to run the ball a lot more, I think makes Washington a little bit more valuable as an underdog here. As you mentioned, I don't think you called it a rat line, but certainly a smaller price on a really good team is a little bit surprising. But of course, missing your signal caller is a pretty big deal. I think Washington has a big issue also with an early start I think it's a 9 a.m. body clock for them. So we'll
Did
see.
not work out at Iowa.
Did not work out at Iowa as they got smashed by the Hawkeyes. I feel like it's probably not as dominant of a performance with Indiana trying to break in a new quarterback and figure out new ways to score points, but I'll join you there under 53 for me in that matchup.